What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. I'm KT, and in this video we're going to talk about water. We're always told to drink our water, the importance of water. But what does it really do for us? Is it really that important? Let's find out. Okay, well, first up, there is science. So on a scientific level, water makes up 60 to 70% of our bodies. And within our bodies, we have metabolic processes. That's things like the breakdown of glucose, converting urea into urine, breaking down amino acids and fatty acids. So all these processes that our body undergoes on a daily basis needs the input of water. So we have the things that are going in, and then a reaction happens, and then we have our output. A lot of the input involves water. So without water, these reactions would not be able to take place. The second thing that water does for us is it helps with the transport of oxygen and nutrients throughout our body. How it does this is through blood. So oxygen binds to hemoglobin, which is inside of blood. Blood is 90% water. So without blood, we wouldn't have any transport of oxygen and nutrients through our body. So blood, as it's going through our arteries, as it's flowing through our bodies, it's picking up nutrients along the way, and then it's dropping them off in other areas in our body. This happens due to water, because again, like I said, blood is 90% of water. So if you take away its main ingredient, what's really left? That we wouldn't be able to survive. So that is the second use that water has in our body. Number 3, water acts as a lubricant. So when you think about your eyes, we have water in our eyes. If you ever experience super dry eyes, you know how that feels. They're itchy, it's uncomfortable, it makes your eyes turn red. It's just like this burning sensation. Well, water helps lubricate our eyes. And then same with our mucus. So our nose, our throat, this whole region helps produce the mucus that is inside our nose that keeps our nose moist as well. Again, if you ever experience a super dry nose, for some people that turns into a nosebleed. So without water, we wouldn't have that mucus. And then also our joints. So without water, we'd have very super stiff joints. And of course, there's other things that can cause your joints to be stiff, arthritis, other things like that. But water keeps our joints lubricated, I should say, so that we are feeling mobile, not feeling so stiff. So shout out to water for that. Good old H2O. The next way water helps us is with waste. So when you think about urine, for example, that is the body's way of getting rid of things it no longer needs through our urine. So like I mentioned earlier, we convert that urea into urine that is excreted through our bodies, and that waste has gone somewhere else. Same with through sweat. When our body needs to remove toxins, what it does, it allows our bodies to be sweat. That's why when you see a lot of people that are struggling with a virus or, sick, and they always tell you like, oh, you got to sweat it out. So your body is literally sending those toxins through your pores in the means of sweat. What is sweat? It's water. So putting on our critical thinking cap, water is helping us remove that stuff from our body, even with our stool. So that's another way, our poop, that our body removes waste out of our body. The stuff that we didn't need goes out that way as well. And the way that water helps with that is, one, in our body, our intestine is absorbing the water to help bulk up the stool. So when you think about digestion, you eat something, goes through your esophagus, it goes through all these things, but it's this soupy mush, right? And at some point, as it's going through your body, your intestines is going to absorb that water to cause it to get firm so that it can evacuate easier. Without that process, we would have looser poops. However, when you don't have water in your system, your body has no choice but to pull that water from your intestines. So by it taking it away, that's actually making your poops super, super hard, making it hard for it to evacuate. So that's where we get that constipation from. So without having the appropriate amount of water, we don't have good waste, we have constipation, and then that whole system is just very uncomfortable, painful, and unnecessary. So by keeping water in our body, we have waste secretion through sweat, we have waste secretion through poop, and we have waste secretion through our urine. And imagine if you weren't unable to pee, poop, or sweat. You wouldn't be feeling that great on the inside. Sweat, that's another way that our body utilizes water, is through sweat. And how it does that, or the purpose of that, is our regulating our body temperature. So when you get too hot, your body sweats so that can cool you down. So you can thank water for that as well. Side note to that, have you ever noticed that when you're in a super hot area, for example, and yeah, you're sweating a little bit, you're perspiring, but the minute that you sit down, that's when you really, really start to like sweat. And you would think like, well, 5 minutes ago when I was doing this activity, why wasn't I sweating more? Now that I'm sitting down, I'm like profusely sweating. Well, yeah, because now your body has the chance to really, really cool you down. So it does that through excreting a bunch of sweat to get your body temperature to come down. So good old water, good old sweat. Number 6, back to this lubrication. That goes to our scalp and skin now. So when you have super dry, tight skin, or maybe you have a super dry scalp that's now, very itchy or flaky, one of the top things people will tell you if you research, how to have moisturized skin or how to help dry scalp, one of the tips is going to be drink more water. Because again, by having that water in your system, it can lubricate not only things I mentioned earlier, like your joints, your eyes, and your nose, but it also is helping lubricating your skin and your scalp, which is just skin as well. And then the last perk I will give, lucky number 7, is for your fitness goals. So whether you're on a weight loss journey or on a muscle gain journey or both, one of the tips that you're going to hear is that to drink water. For the weight loss side of that, drinking water helps you feel fuller, which then leads you to consume less calories, which is the basis of weight loss. You want to eat less and move more. So by filling your body up with water, or at least an appropriate amount, I'm not saying just only drink water, because there is a such thing as too much water, which I'll get into that. But drinking enough water will keep you fuller for longer, which helps with that calorie regulation. And on the flip side, with muscle growth, when you are working out, your muscles are able to pull in that water, which 1, helps them look fuller, which 2, also helps it remove the toxins from the muscles, which helps them with recovery. And 3, it helps with the muscle growth of having that oxygen going into the muscles as you're working them out and as they are repairing when you're resting. So whether you're wanting to lose weight or wanting to build muscle, water is going to help you do both. As you can see, there's at least 7 ways that water is necessary in our bodies. So it is true that we need it. In fact, we can only survive 3 to a maximum of probably 10 days without water. And I say probably because, it depends on what was in your body before, where you live, what's the temperature, and things like that. And so now that we've established that you absolutely do need water, the next question is, well, how much? And again, that's going to vary on your size, on your weight, on the climate that you live in, on your activity levels. There's a lot of things that determine how much water you need to drink. The general consensus is that men should consume around 15 cups and women should consume around 11 cups. There's another consensus that you should take your body weight in kilograms and drink that much in ounces. So for example, if you weigh 70 kilograms, you should drink 70 ounces of water a day. And then that's just a basis. And then they say for per 1 hour of working out, you should consume another 8 to 16 fluid ounces of water, depending on the activity level that you're doing and the duration of it. So again, there's all these things that are going to determine how much more or how much less water you should drink. But I think going off of your size is a good rule of thumb, size and climate. Because if you're somewhere where it's super humid, you're going to need to drink more water because you're going to be sweating a lot. If you're somewhere that's super dry, you're going to need more water because your body is drying out. But if you're living somewhere where it's that sweet spot, maybe you don't need as much water as someone living on, let's say, the east coast of the USA or on the west coast of the USA. Maybe the Midwest region would need less water than both of those places, if you get my drift. And I said I would come back to this, so don't forget that there is a such thing as too much water. You can get water sickness. And I say this because when you drink a lot of water, like I mentioned before, you are flushing a lot of things out of your system. And that also also means you're flushing out some of the good stuff too. The potassium, the sodium, these vitamins and minerals that we need in our body is also getting flushed out with more and more water that we're drinking. Our electrolytes, so to speak. That's why when you're doing super long endurance, maybe like outside where you're sweating for more than an hour, or you're a basketball player who's just running up and down the court for an hour and you're omitting a lot of sweat from your body, they give you a Gatorade or a Powerade because that's full of electrolytes that you need to get back that you just lost. So if you were to be drinking too much water, you could be potentially flushing out a lot of the good stuff, which is going to cause your body to cramp, shut down, suffer. There's this thing called hypertonic cells, and then there's hypotonic cells. That means that your cells are either really, really shrunken or they're super expansive and could burst. That can happen by drinking too much water. So you don't want to overdo it, and most people can't really, unless you were trying. I doubt you can overdose on water, so don't get scared there. But if you were, I don't know, in some water drinking challenge and you're just like guggling cups and cups of water, you're probably going to feel sick. And if you've ever done that before, you know that you're going to feel sick. Last thing I'll say in this video is that now that we know that water is important, now that we kind of have an idea of how much we should drink, now I'm going to tell you where can you get water. Well, obvious from water, some fresh tap, some filtered, some distilled, different types of water you can put into your system. Tea counts. I mean, you got a tea bag, but the cup is 98% water. So when you're drinking tea, you're getting water. Same with coffee. Again, you got the coffee beans, but majority of that cup is a liquid. So we can get that from there. Smoothies, fruits and vegetables, stuff like watermelon, for example, or cucumbers or celery. Those are like 90 to 95% water. So when you're eating these things, you're naturally putting water into your body. Soups, when you think about pho or just making a nice little soup at home, that broth is mostly liquid, which is why, again, you get so full when you're eating it, because like you're consuming all of this liquid and your stomach is expanding. So it helps you feel fuller for longer, which is why people who are on those kind of diets typically are slimmer, because the base of their food is water with, some kind of vegetables and like a noodle. So plus a protein. So those are some of the options you have to get water into your system. So it doesn't just have to be drinking cups of water, which is absolutely great, but you also have to remember that the things that you're eating, the other drinks that you're drinking, and types of things you're eating, types of things you're drinking that are apart from your typical glass of water do count as your water intake. And like I mentioned earlier, on our metabolic processes, how we have inputs, we have a reaction, then we have an output. A lot of the byproducts of those reactions are water. So even when you put water into your body, and as your body is converting that glucose to glycogen or fatty acids and amino acids, like as they're going through those processes, they're also kicking water back out into your system. So you do have a little bit of help there from your body. That's all I have for this video. Thank you for watching. I hope you feel a little more confident about why water needs to be a part of your diet, a big part of it. This video will go under my nutrition playlist, so be sure to check that out so you can see other things you can learn about nutrition and how to help your body with the things that we eat. If you did like this video, you know what to do. Please give me that thumbs up. I'll really appreciate it. And subscribe if you would like to see more videos like this. Things about finance, things about body education, or workout videos. You can find all of those under Stayfitnactive. Have a great rest of the weekend, whenever you happen to see this video, and I'll catch you in the next one. As always, don't forget to crush it.